The OKN Junior qualifying Heat 2. That is what is coming up next. 9 laps at an 11-kilometer race. Right then, whistle blows, engines fire up, drivers make their way out onto the circuit. So let's take you through that full starting lineup. It will be exactly the same as what it was earlier on, of course, from the results in time qualifying this morning. Gives us our grids for these races. Connor Clancy and Axel Nocom on row number 1. James Anagnosiadis and Nathan Capin on row 2. Vanessa Chilcaneta and Dinia Islamov going from row number 3. William Marshall and Nicholas Stanley on row 4. Vigon Pedrotti and Didier Klieft on row number 5. Mateus Witwer and Veer Chopra on row 6. Zachariah Dole and Leonidas Peruzzi on row 7. Ella Hakkinen and Aryan Singh on row 8. Mrs. Jain and Amelia Vishamirska on row number 9. Case Aziza and Maxim Bobrazov, they round out the top 20 on row 10. Oscar Gallin and Xavier Dudkovsky go from row 11. Victoria Farfus and Jan Michalesko on row 12. And Marcel Scapella and Enia Pizzuto on row 13. Angelina Simmons and Corinne Kaur on row 14. You'll have Sanjana Dandu and Vera Yuland on row 15. Jacob Woods, Sujana Dandu, Toby Gale and Casper Reipold will round out the 34-kart grid. There's a look at the qualifying heats, intermediate points at the moment. Of course, Anagnosiadis with that win. He has got the 50 points from Connor Clancy. William Marshall with the 41 points from Nathan Capin. Vanessa Chilcaneta and Axel Nocom. They are their points, of course. They will get accumulated with the points that they will gather at the end of this race. That will determine who will be starting on pole position for that final later on today. There's a look at the track and air conditions. We're 21 degrees, but the sun is beaming down on us here and the driver is saying that it feels hotter than yesterday. But a perfectly dry circuit here at the Alphasan International Sports Resort karting circuit as the drivers prime themselves ready to go here. Of course, drivers will always have to contend with a little bit of dust over the course of this one. It is pretty sandy off the racing line here. Of course, understandable in the United Arab Emirates. All of it, you drive 5 minutes out of the city and you're in the sand dunes. Here we go then, into the tram lines. We are racing, lights are out, and it's a good start from the front row. It's a great start this time for Axel Nocom, but did he survive it through turn number 1? The 27 is off and out of this race. That's Dinia Islamov. The front runners having a really shaky start there, and there's the 16 as well, Connor Clancy, the pole sitter. Out of the second race, the driver who finished second earlier today will now suffer going into that final. He will have to start it from much further down, and that is not the start they will have wanted at all. Dinia Islamov as well was the other involved in that incident. So where are the rest of them? Now that looks like Nocom in the lead of this race. Anagnosiadis in second place. Now the carts have been put to a place of relative safety there. As the yellow flag's clear, we continue under green flag conditions in towards turn number 1, and there you can see the mechanics and the hand signals start from a very young age there from the sidelines, even for the junior drivers here. Marshall going wheel to wheel there with the likes of Vanessa Chilcaneta, and Marshall holding on to third place now. But the young female driver from Lithuania is certainly piling on the pressure. A really strong result earlier on, a P5 for Vanessa, and she's dealing with the stress of this situation perfectly. Pressure from behind. Didier Klieft is there. But eyes at the moment, it's Axel Nocom who leads the way, but now he will have to deal with the driver from Australia closing in behind. Anagnosiadis right there on that rear bumper. He will check behind him. I will surely think Axel Nocom has a big look over the shoulder there just to see the situation. And again, we will always see that from drivers who are relatively new from being at the sharp end. That is no disrespect to Nocom at all. He's a very talented young driver, a very competitive driver. He leaves the door open there, and Anagnosiadis goes through. We were just saying a driver who checks over their shoulder a lot more than others. usually is a sign of where they will end up. And unfortunately, just through that final sector, Anagnosiadis just had the pace there to get through. Now, can NoCom stick with Anagnosiadis? Got a quick driver in front of him now that can certainly benefit him in learning his way around this circuit. Ahead of that final later on. In Axel NoCom with a P6 earlier on and a win right now. Puts him in a really strong position. But Anagnosiadis with the win earlier on and now in the lead of this is looking at maximum points to his name. He's going to claim another 25 series points at the end of this one if he stays in P1. And that will certainly help his title fight out as he heads into the final later on. But all he needed to do was race today, and he knew he would get to the end of the day. For James Anagnosiadis, it is all down to him, and unfortunately for Conor Clancy, who, when we spoke to him this morning, saying that, yeah, you know, I'm second in that title fight. I'm fighting with Reipold as there's more drama on circuit. And they're out of the race. That looks like the 49 is going no further in this one. Unfortunately, a lot of discomfort for another. And we'll try and get the numbers now. I didn't quite see the numbers as they went through. I think potentially could have been Corinne Kaur and Vera Jurland. The 49 and the 22, they're the next drivers who have not clocked up through the field. And yeah, that is Corinne Kaur. Unfortunately, the driver from Singapore just being escorted out of the way, and hopefully Vera Jurland is okay there. She's holding her arm just a little bit, the driver of the number 22. And hopefully all is okay then. Well, there's more drama. Oh dear, the number 30's off the track. That's Marcel Capella again, has had drama here at Alpha San. It was a torrid day yesterday for the driver from Poland, and once again finds himself in the gravel. It looks like he's beached on that curb there, and that is a very treacherous place to be right now, so hopefully the marshals can clear that quickly before this field heads through. Anagnosiadis then still maintains that lead. Clear by 7/10 of a second here, but Axel NoCom now is starting to get under pressure from William Marshall. A very, very diverse group of nations here, all fighting at the front end. You've got Australia leading the Philippines. You've got South Africa from Lithuania, Italy from the United Arab Emirates, the Netherlands from Czechia, all in the top 7. And under investigation is Vera Jurland, the driver from Sweden, who is out of this race. And obviously there was an incident there, and they're going to have to find out who was at fault for said incident. So already down to just 29 runners in this for retirements in the early stages. He's focused on this fight though. The gap has closed down a little bit at the front here. NoCom with the pressure from Marshall behind. It's just egging him along a little bit here, but this will change it. Down the inside, William Marshall gets through into second place, and he claims that position as quickly as you like. A very popular overtaking opportunity is turn 16. It's becoming more and more popular now with the drivers. You can carry the speed through 14 and 15. You've got a small straight between that and the next chicane. Comes up thick and fast, and big hit of the curves there once more for NoCom. Just trying to carry that speed through the chicane. Stick with Marshall right now, and still a P3 is a very strong result. But there behind, Vanessa Chilcanetta and Egon Pedrotti are all closing in here. Chopra is still there in 6th. Didier Kreeft in 7th. Didier Kreeft, a very good drive this time around, suffered a 23rd place in that first race, and looking for a much better result this time around for Kreeft, and is certainly delivering that result right now. Over the line, we go on to lap 8 now, penultimate lap of this race. Last lap board will be out to the field, and Anagnosiadis looking to claim even more series points. Well, let's see what happens at the end of this one. Anagnosiadis from Marshall, NoCom, Chilcanete, Pedrotti, Chopra, Kreeft now with the fastest lap of the race. Vitva from Stanley, Zachary Ardole from Kesa Jan Michalewsko running out the top 12. Ella Hakkinen there in 13th place from Kasper Reipold. This is good from Reipold. He had a pretty terrible qualifying, 20 places gained for Casper Reipold. But let's see what he can do in this one. There, some of the stats. James Anagnosiadis, who's leading this one, was picked at this very circuit last year in the inaugural round, the inaugural starting of this championship, and he put himself right at the sharp end and got picked by the Mercedes team. There is Yuland chatting with, I think that's the medical teams there she's chatting with there, and I think she's just describing the injuries that she's feeling there, because you could see she was holding her arm a little bit after that incident. Of course, medical teams will make sure she is okay. Here, though, on this final lap, Anagnosiadis, like you saw from the stat there, picked by the Mercedes Young Driver Development Program at the back end of last year. He has excelled over the 2024 season, progressing more and more. And in this season, in the Academy program, has delivered what he's need to. He's got his final later on today, but right now, he is looking dominant to claim an extra 25 title points to his name. Anagnosiadis crosses the line, wins 2 qualifying heats out of 2. He is looking for a perfect score today. Marshall finishes in 2nd place from Axel Nocom. A very strong drive for the top 3. Vanessa Schilkeneta improves her position from earlier on. P5 to P4, puts herself 4th place for that final later on today. Prodrotti from Chopra in the order from that one. And they finish 5th and 6th here. They will start 5th and 6th in that final as well. Krieft and Witwer, the top 8 from Stanley and Case Aziza. 9 places gained to finish in the top 10. 11th place, Zachariah Dola with a gain of 2. Miskalesko with 12 places gained, finishing in P12. Reipold, 21 places gained to finish P13. From Ella Hakkinen in 14th place. Leonidas Peruzzi finishes in P15. Mitans Jain from Angelina Simmons. Nathan Cappin from Toby Gale. Gale gaining the 14 places from the back of the field.